Imagine the unthinkable. A brutal crime disguised as a desperate attempt to banish evil spirits from a tiny child. That's the heart-wrenching and deeply disturbing case of Blaine Milam, set to face lethal injection in Texas. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this truly a misguided exorcism or a calculated cover for something far more sinister? Let's dive into the details of this tragic story, unpacking the facts, the legal battles, and the questions that still haunt us all. Blaine Milam, now 35, is scheduled for execution on Thursday evening at the Huntsville State Penitentiary in Texas. His crime? The horrific murder of 13-month-old Amora Carson back in December 2008 in a trailer home in Rusk County, East Texas. Milam and his then-girlfriend, Jesseca Carson, both just 18 at the time, claimed the ordeal was an exorcism, a ritual to drive out a demon they believed was possessing the little girl. For beginners wondering what an exorcism entails, it's a religious or spiritual practice aimed at expelling evil entities from a person, often rooted in beliefs from faiths like Christianity. In this case, it allegedly involved extreme violence, turning a supposed act of faith into a nightmare of torture. Prosecutors paint a grim picture. Milam allegedly subjected the infant to savage beatings with a hammer, biting, strangling, and mutilation over a grueling 30-hour period. A forensic pathologist conducting the autopsy revealed multiple skull fractures, broken arms, legs, ribs, and numerous bite marks. The pathologist testified that determining a single cause of death was impossible due to the sheer number of life-threatening injuries, a testament to the prolonged and merciless nature of the abuse. Milam maintains his innocence, pointing the finger squarely at Jesseca Carson. He argues she was the one who insisted the child was demon-possessed and initiated the attack. Carson, tried separately, was convicted of capital murder for her role in assisting Milam and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Milam's defense team has fought tirelessly, petitioning the U.S. Supreme Court to halt the execution. They claim his conviction relied partly on now discredited bite mark evidence and unreliable DNA findings. Moreover, they argue Milam is intellectually disabled, making him ineligible for the death penalty under legal standards. In their Supreme Court filing, Milam's lawyers presented a compelling counter-narrative. Carson suffered from religious delusions and a neurological condition called visual perception disorder, which might have caused her to perceive distortions in her daughter's face as malevolent. It was Carson who caused her daughter's death, they stated. There is no credible evidence that Milam played any role in it. This interpretation flips the script, suggesting Milam's involvement was minimal or coerced, and raises questions about mental health and accountability in such cases. Yet, state and federal courts have consistently denied stays of execution, and the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles recently rejected a request to commute his sentence to life. Previous execution dates in 2019 and 2021 were also postponed. The Texas Attorney General's office counters that claims of intellectual disability have been dismissed in prior rulings, and a fresh review of DNA evidence still links Milam to the crime scene. Even without the bite mark and DNA data, they argue, other proof points to his guilt, including attempts to conceal evidence and a confession he reportedly gave to a nurse post-arrest. Rusk County District Attorney Michael Jimerson, who prosecuted the case alongside the Attorney General's office, shared insights in a 2019 interview with the Associated Press. Initially, authorities viewed Milam and Carson as distraught parents mourning a loss, but Carson later revealed to investigators that Milam had told her Amora was possessed by a demon because God was tired of her lying to Milam, as per court documents. Jimerson remains skeptical, calling the exorcism story a smokescreen for the real motive, which he couldn't pinpoint. It's very hard to confront the idea that someone would derive their gratification from the torture of a baby, he said. That is really something that diminishes all of us, and it's just a very, very hard thing to face. And this is the part most people miss: the profound psychological toll on those investigating such horrors, highlighting how these cases challenge our understanding of human cruelty. Bite mark analysis, a key piece of evidence here, has faced growing scrutiny. A 2016 report from the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology declared it clearly scientifically unreliable at present, due to inconsistencies in matching bites to individuals. This controversy underscores broader debates in forensic science, where outdated methods can lead to wrongful convictions, a topic that sparked heated discussions among experts and the public alike. If Milam's execution proceeds, he'll be the fifth person executed in Texas this year, cementing the state's reputation as the nation's most active in capital punishment. Meanwhile, in Alabama, Jeffrey West is slated for execution around the same time for a 1997 gas station robbery murder. Nationally, if both executions happen, the 2024 total would reach 33. Florida is leading with a record 12 executions so far this year, plus 2 more planned by mid-October. This case isn't just about one man's fate. It touches on explosive issues like the death penalty's fairness, the reliability of evidence in court, and the blurred lines between religious freedom and criminal acts. Is the death penalty ever justified for such a crime, especially when claims of innocence persist? Should we trust discredited forensic techniques, or does that risk executing the wrong person? And what about the role of mental health in these tragedies? Could better support have prevented this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Milam's story of innocence, or do the prosecutors have it right? Share your opinions in the comments below. Let's discuss.